Let's get started.
Matt, other than the obvious, the score, what were some of the most pleasing things to you out there today?
Yeah, I just thought we played really good team football today. The way we have to play to win football games, you guys that have covered us for a long time know, man, there's a rhythm of how we have to play to be successful. And I thought, there was a good chunk of the game that we were able to do that. I thought we played to our strength on special teams. Defensively, obviously, to create some turnovers. And then on offense, man, we had the opportunity to make big plays. We made them. And we did a great job taking care of the ball. And so I think all those things are we know UNI is always a really good opponent, physical team, really good quarterback, a veteran defense this year. So I think for us to kind of get a great evaluation of where we are, and certainly, if we're just starting to grow forward, it was a really good start. But I love the rhythm of the game. I thought our leadership was outstanding. I thought how we played the football game was really kind of what is reminiscent of us at our best.
From what you saw, Rocco, just naked eye. What were your
Yeah, I thought great poise. Man, I know I looked up at the stat line at one time. He's 10 to 12, really efficient. I think he made made a couple of great throws, was maybe a hair off on a couple other ones. I just thought great efficiency. Used his legs when he had the opportunity to. Was really cramping up in the second half. So, you would have loved to seen him at full strength in the second half. But just poise. Again, Rocco and honestly JJ, I thought both of those guys, when they went in, they executed the game plan. They gave us great opportunity to have success, and I think they'll just keep growing. What a huge day for them to be able to get out there, this environment, against a good defense and just go play football and have to adapt and kind of grow through the game. So I was really pleased with both those guys, and certainly, Rocco, really proud of them.
Matt, could you describe how good a play on the ball Jeremiah Cooper's pick six was, and then B, how critical to do that for the first time since Jake Hummel did it against West Virginia a couple of years ago?
Well, we talked about trying to get off to a good start, and it's always do you think you guys? Well, yeah, we'd always love to get off to a great start. So I love when people ask that question. Man, you got to get off to a great start this week. Yeah, we liked it every week, but I think for us, in a game like this with such a young team, I don't know how many young pups played today, but there are a lot of them. And to have a guy stand up and make a big play, and they had gotten a couple first downs. They're driving down the field. And I think the one thing that was really fun today, probably I haven't seen in a long time here, is our ability to stack our responses. Something bad happened, and I think that Jeremiah's play, I think, just got done saying, they get to move the ball past the 50-yard line, you kind of like, what's going to happen here? Boom, we make a big play. A guy makes a big play, even at the end of the half. You go to kick the extra point, it's kind of goofy, whatever happens, we'll have to look at it. Coop makes another great play, and then we kick the field goal. So now that long snapper's got to go back out, the holder got to go back out, the kicker's got to go back out, you got to go execute. And so I just think for us, those were some of the real positives for me to see, but I thought that play set the tone, especially from our standpoint of things we've talked about. Man, the game's a game of momentum. You got to continue to respond. You got to play the next play, and I thought that was awesome.
And then offensively, obviously not a lot of yards or even plays, but went under center for a 4th and 1 sneak.
I was going to start with that, but I didn't want to give Randy too. I knew he'd be all juiced up. So, but
executed efficiently.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think you can remember sometimes last year getting down there and us not doing that, right? Or executing is the word I'm looking for. But the fact of the matter of our execution, I thought for the most part throughout the football game was really solid. We had a couple. You got the big kickoff return that comes back. We'll have to look at that. I was talked about the snap, on the extra point. And then there were a couple of things in the second half I thought we got a hair sloppy, and it's what I said to our football team. It'll be hard to win football games going forward if we can't play 4 quarters close to that rhythm that we played in the first half. But what a good challenge for us to go back to work on.
How are Tyler Onyedem and Jared Hubbard doing?
Yeah, all those guys are good. Honestly, we were, I think everything today was cramping. It was hot out there. I thought our really first half we were in a great spot, and then the second half, it was a lot of cramping throughout the second half. So, to be expected, I think, with this heat. But I thought for the most part, our kids handled it well and got a lot of people in the football game to go play.
What did you think of the game Nate called in his first time doing that?
Yeah, I mean, we took care of the football. We were efficient in the red zone. I mean, I thought he did a great job. You know, again, I think that's one of the things that when we do a great job, we do a great job of those areas. And I think when we're at our best, we can put ourselves in a great position to be successful. I thought we did a great job of that.
That PAT notwithstanding the special teams, the punt return from Jalen, the field goal at the end of the half, is that where you can steal points or set the offense up for more success, is just getting those type of plays that haven't
Well,
always happened?
again, I think the myth is that we've not been good on special teams, which is a farce. When we've had great specialists, we've been really good. And I think what you see is you see a sophomore punter that's growing in. You saw a freshman last year. You see a senior kicker. You saw a true freshman last year. And then, you know, I think you look at it and you say, man, we're a lot better with our wisdom and our age. And when we've had Mevis and we've had all those guys, you know, we've been really good. And so I think the credit goes to the specialist and continue to develop a plan to let those guys have success. So, yeah, I think that part's good. And again, like you said, there's a couple things there you got to clean up. I mean, you know, we have the big return at the end of the end of the game where, man, I think we get across the 50-yard line. It comes back as a hold, and like you said, you got that extra point. So we just got to keep going forward. But a lot of good things to start things off for the season for us there.
I stopped counting at 8 linebackers that played, I think, through 3 quarters. What did you see from that entire group?
Yeah, I guess the guy that probably sticks out the most for me is Caleb Bacon. You know, I mean, he's had a phenomenal fall camp, a guy that has just emerged, and you know, and it probably does because it's the 2 sacks. You know, it's the negative yardage plays that he's got the ability to make. But you know, I just think that group, there's a lot of competition, and it's good because in this defense, you need to have depth and you need to be able to keep playing guys. It'll be. Honestly, I really look forward to getting into this film. It'll probably take me about 10 minutes to start it because I want to just see, man, what really happened today? What growth did we really make? How can we continue to move ourselves forward? You always say that you'd love to grow between week 1 and week 2, and we know that's really important. And then you obviously got another really good opponent that's coming in here to play. So, you know, you got to balance all that. So it'll be a good challenge for this young team.
Matt,
Go ahead.
when you do watch the film, just like you were saying, do you watch it here? Do you go home and watch it? Do you watch it with all your coaches, or do you just kind of sit down by yourself and have a back over?
Well, I'll do it here first, and you know, spend some time, you know, this afternoon and really try to go through it, and then we'll take time tomorrow morning, you know, and try to do a great job of evaluating the film. I think everything always starts with just personnel. Man, what did we do well? What didn't we do well? Because if we can't clean that up and we try to go onto an opponent, we will fail, you know. But if we can continue to evaluate what we did well or didn't do well, how do we continue to work to fix it, whether it's practice or fundamental work, and then get ourselves going. We'll practice tomorrow, so we'll be right back at it tomorrow.
Hey, Matt, obviously tight end was a room that there was a lot of excitement about this offseason. What stood out in terms of the depth of that room today, and how did some of those guys kind of establish themselves, reliable targets for your young QBs?
Yeah, you know, I really felt confident that this tight end room was maybe from a depth standpoint, and we'll still see that it's a big word, but I think this is one of the deepest rooms we've ever had here, you know, and we've had some really good tight end rooms, and to say that is a lot, but I think you saw a little bit of that today. You know, so great that Tyler Moore is the guy that scores the first touchdown in terms of that room. Man, the play he makes is awesome. You know, that kid's been through, you know, heck and back and some injuries and some tough times, and he's just continued to fight and bounce back, and I'm so proud of him because I think that's what our program's been about. You know, Ben makes an incredible catch today, and we've talked a lot about what I think about Ben's ability. And then, you know, what's neat about Ben is Ben's grandparents were here today, so I think that was a really big deal. So that was really cool for his family and for them. And then, you know, Easton continues to be consistent and made some critical third down plays and some really key moments. And then Steve O'Klotz, man, I mean, that guy's done great things. Gabe Burkle had a great catch at the end and continues to block. So for us to be a really good offense, that group's going to only have to continue to grow forward, right? They're going to have to, in the run game, continue to be an asset to the O-line, in the pass game, be an asset to the quarterback. But that group's got a chance to, I think, only continue to be really special.
What did you think of your running game generally, and then specifically Cartavius being healthy, and I think Sama probably won a lot of fans today, or got people excited.
Yeah. I think it was. I think that group's got a chance to be terrific. I think it's got to keep growing forward from today. It's got to keep moving itself forward. But I thought Abu had some great runs. Probably would like to have about 2 or 3 back that could have been elite runs. I think Cartavius had a couple really good runs in the football game. Eli ran really hard. I think he got a little bit dinged up, so hopefully we'll get him back to full strength. And then, there's still others that I think will only continue to emerge. Carson Hansen, I think, got in there a little bit. I don't know if he carried it today. But, I'm excited about that group, and it'll be interesting to watch how that offensive line played. It's hard for me to evaluate it. I thought from a protection standpoint, for the most part, I thought it was really solid. I'm anxious to get into that run game video and kind of see where we were throughout the game.
Yeah, Matt, you touched on the turnovers briefly, obviously the traditional takeaways, but the 4th down holds as well. What did you like maybe about the consistency of stepping up to some of those plays? And was that more the story of the defense today rather than maybe the yardage or anything else?
Well, yeah, I think the 2 turnovers, you're 10 points off of, those 2 turnovers, which are big. The pick 6, obviously, and then the field goal right before the half. So I think those were huge momentum makers, and the ability to get great points off of that was big. And I am sure Coach Haycock would say the same thing. I thought there were points in the second half, no different than the offense. Man, you'd love to extend a couple of those drives, and we didn't. On defense, we allowed some of those drives to extend, and I think we got to get off the field. There's 3 or 4 third down and longs that we give up at the end of the game, and we just got to be better. And so I think it's what you expect in the first football game. A lot of really good things, some areas that we got to really continue to improve, but I think for the most part, a lot of positive.
And what did you think of not only the design but the execution of Jalen's 39-yard punt return, where it looked like a perfect wall was set up for him to run?
Yeah, I think that those were some of the things when you said, and I know we talked about it this offseason, man, where are some areas that you felt like you can really grow? I think an area we felt like we could really grow is that hidden yardage in the punt return game. There were times where I think we left some things out there that we needed to be better and wanted to be better. And so I think what you saw was a lot of the emphasis in the offseason of our ability to be legal. I think that's a hard thing about punt return sometimes is, man, it's such a bang play. To be legal, you got to be really fundamentally sound, and you got to do a great job of it. But I thought our kids did. I think when you look at that videotape, it's TJ Tampa, it's Miles Purchase. Like, our best players are playing on special teams, and that's always been the case here. But those are guys that make really big plays in some critical moments, and obviously Jalen does a great job finishing it off. So I think you saw great fundamental and technique, and that's what you hope coming out of fall camp. The first live eval, man, can you equally see great fundamental and technique? I thought you saw it in that play for sure.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys, thanks so much.